What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of TEW Confrontational, episode number 44, I believe. We'll jump right into it here. My name's Ty Workentine, here with my little brother Evan Workentine.
What up?
And we're back at you with episode number 44. So we'll jump into the games here. Overall records, I'm sitting at 128 and 80. I went 5-10 last week, so I wasn't seeing the board well at all with some of those games. And some of those games are pretty crazy upsets and things like that. But you went 10-5. So you're at 129 and 79. So you got a game up on me. So I'm 128 and 80. You're 129 and 79. So yeah, you're up a game on me we got what, 3 weeks left, 4 weeks left.
So we got 4 weeks left. 15, 16, 17, and 18. Yep.
Yeah. And then playoffs start for fantasy football next week, or I guess this week here on Thursday. That's kind of exciting stuff going on with fantasy football and everything. I don't know. I think I made the playoffs in our TEW Confrontational podcast league. I think it's Ashley, Trevor, myself, and someone else. Can't remember who else, but yeah. So it's pretty fun overall year, and we'll see who wins the ship on that one. So, starting off on Thursday night last week, we had the 2-10 Patriots traveling to the 7-5 Steelers, and Patriots get a dub at the Steel Curtain. They upset the Steelers and everything like that. The Steelers fall to 7-6, and Patriots moved to 3-10. Patriots end up winning that one 21-18. And Bailey Zappi was the starting quarterback for the Patriots, and he throws for 240 yards and 3 touchdowns. Zeke had a game that game. Juju Smith-Schuster had a couple big catches, and Steelers kind of just dominated this one. And Patriots dominated this one, and Steelers really don't have. They're kind of looking like shit.
Yeah, I mean, Steelers could have won there, or at least tied it up with a field goal. But good win for the Pats. I mean, obviously they're still sitting with 3 wins, but the Steelers are having some a locker room issues. I've heard with Pickens, excuse me. And then Deontay Johnson just not showing as much work ethic, blocking wise, and just helping out their other teammates when they aren't getting the ball. So it's unfortunate, and they're in a spot where they need to win. Because I know the Browns, they got to win this week. So it's kind of hard to lose that game when you got your divisional opponents winning games.
Yep, exactly. And they're still in the playoffs. They're sitting at 6th seed right now for the wild card. Browns moved to 5th seed, and then Colts are at the 7th seed. So those are your last 3 teams in from the wild card there. But Steelers just have tiebreaker over Indianapolis for the best percentage of games. And then they have a tiebreaker over the Bills and the Broncos for best win percentage in conference games. And then they beat the Cincinnati. Division tiebreaks was initially used to eliminate Cincinnati because they won head-to-head and everything like that. So, still sitting at 6th seed in the AFC. But if they keep losing, there's 6 or 7 more teams that are sitting at 7-6. Bills, Cincy, Broncos, Houston, and they're all sitting at 7-6. So anything can happen over in the AFC conference and everything like that. So
good win for the Pats. I think you were going to say that, but all their other teams in that division, the Steelers division won. Bengals won, Browns won, and Ravens won.
Yeah.
It's like I was saying, it's a big loss for the Steelers, especially against the team. But
right, not necessarily a big win for the Patriots. I mean, if anything, they were trying to lose. I mean, not trying to lose, but to get overall better draft pick. But it's a tough loss for the Steelers, moving to 7-6. They're still in the wild card, but that could change next week. So we'll see what happens. And then another fun game to watch. You had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers traveling to Atlanta and upsetting the Falcons. I don't know if it was necessarily an upset or anything like that, but that does jump the Buccaneers into playoff. They're actually leading their division. And so they're number 4 right now, and so they got the 4th spot in the playoffs. They're sitting at 6-7. So the NFC is looking a little bit more strangled. There's 6 and 7 teams or something like that, and everything like that. So Tampa Bay at 4. Philly falls to 5 from losing to the Cowboys. Cowboys took the lead in that division, and then you have Minnesota at 6. Green Bay still sitting at 7 though,
Mm-hmm.
with the 6-7 record. Then you have the Rams, Seahawks, Falcons, and Saints all at 6-7. So again, anything can change with that wild card picture, and stuff like that. But good win for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Yeah, what do you got on that one?
Yeah, I mean that's a big win. I like you said, it was very. I think it was very head to head. Both teams are about the same. I did pick the Bucks there. I mean, I got faith in Baker. Um, but yeah, the Buccaneers come to Green Bay next week, so and that should be a pretty good game as well.
Yeah, not a
But yeah,
whole lot of
good win for the Bucks, and yeah, they like you said, they took over the division. I mean, they're were they 6-7,
6-7. Yeah.
6-7, and they're leading their division, so they got a playoff spot. So if they can hold on, win a few more games and take that first place spot in their division, I mean, they're probably going to get blown out in the playoffs, but they're still going
Right.
to so
Right.
they need
Yeah,
home field
Baker.
advantage.
Yeah, Baker didn't have too much of a game. He threw for 144 and 2 touchdowns. Rasheed White was probably one of the top players of that game. Ran for 102 yards. Also had 33 on the through the air and a touchdown. Mike Evans didn't do much this game. He only had one catch for 8 yards, and everything like that on 6 targets. So they were kind of locking Mike Evans down, and everything like that. So, but yeah, Desmond Ritter throws for 350, but only a
Mm-hmm.
touchdown, one touchdown, one interception. So yeah, good overall win for the Buccaneers. And I think Young Ho Koo missed 2 field goals that game, which actually dropped his overall accuracy like percentage. I think he was like sitting at 98 point something, and then that dropped it
Mm-hmm.
down, and Justin Tucker jumped up to the number 1 for overall kicking percentage. So yeah, tough week for Young Ho Koo and the Falcons, but good win for the Buccaneers. They move into their top spot in their comp or in their division.
I think it's
Um,
NFC South.
yeah, yeah, and then Falcons with that loss fall down and everything at to 6-7. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
good overall win for the Bucks. It was kind of a fun game to watch and everything like that. They went on like 11-yard score to Kate Otten with like 31 seconds left to surpass the Falcons and everything. So good solid win for the Bucks. They're at 6-7. Falcons are at 6-7. Then yeah, you had Detroit Lions, the leader of the NFC North, traveling to the Bears, which were the bottom of the NFC North, and Bears get a W at home.
Mm-hmm.
Good overall game from Justin Fields. No turnovers. Ran for let's see how many yards. But yeah, he was running, throwing. Yeah, he was the leading rusher. He had 58 yards and on the ground and a touchdown. And then he also had 220 through the air and a touchdown. So yeah, Lions aren't looking very hot.
Mm-mm.
And kind
Especially
of
yeah,
called it.
especially down the stretch. Yeah, you did call it. Yeah, they're not very.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously, they were. What were they at one point? Were they 8-2 or 8-1?
yeah, they were leading. Yeah, they're about like 8-1 or something like that.
Yeah,
The really only team that they really beat was the Kansas City Chiefs week
and that
one.
was the first game, and I mean,
Right,
as you see, the Chiefs aren't. I mean, are they Chiefs? Are they as good as they used to be? I mean,
right. I mean,
make
yeah,
that
they're
argument as well.
yeah. I mean, yeah, we'll get into that one, but it's kind of the same thing as the Steelers. The wide receivers on the Chiefs are just letting the team down. Like
Yeah,
they're not doing their job, and we'll get into that because that was a crazy ass ending to that game too.
yeah, it
But
was.
yeah, solid win for the Bears, and that helps out the Vikings and the Packers both. If
Mm-hmm.
the Lions keep losing, Vikings and Packers keep winning, one of those teams could take the number 1 spot in the NFC North.
Yeah.
Vikings are only 1 game behind from the Lions and everything like that. So maybe 2 games, yeah, 2 games behind, but
What are they? What are the
still
Lions sitting at right now?
9-4,
9-4, and you guys are
7-6. So yeah, we're
yeah,
two
you're
games
two
behind.
games
But
behind. Yeah.
I mean, we don't have a tough schedule, and I think Lions have a couple teams that are coming in that they have to beat and everything like that. So yeah, solid win for the Bears. They're looking good, and they get the number 1 pick next year, and probably the number 5th pick or something like that. So I mean, they could stack up on players, or could trade away Justin Fields and pick up a quarterback, or they just keep Justin Fields, pick up a quarterback like Caleb Williams or Drake May or something like that. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, solid win for the Bears, and
Yeah,
yeah, I
that
kind
was a
of
big win for the Bears. Yeah.
yeah, really big. I mean, not a huge one. I don't know if they're making the playoffs or
We're
anything
not going to
like
make the
that.
playoffs, but it's more of like a statement win. Like, hey, we beat the best team in the division so far. We still have the number 1 pick, like you mentioned. They have nothing to lose, so that's just a big win for them to beat the Lions, especially divisional opponents. So
Yeah, and Jared Goof looks like a goof
Oof,
this.
yeah,
Yeah, if he's on, he's on. If he's off, he is dog water. So,
yep, yep.
um, but yeah, David Montgomery, he's on my fantasy team. He scored. Jameer Gibbs scored. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens with the Lions. I hope they keep losing and Vikings win and get that number one spot. But
Yeah.
yeah, and then you had the Indianapolis Colts traveling to Cincinnati to take on the Bengals, and that Jake Browning kid is looking good for the Bengals.
Hmm.
Throws for 275 and a touchdown, and Bengals
Yeah.
end up winning this one at home, 34-14 over the Colts. I thought the Colts had a little bit more in them, especially on the defensive side, but um, but yeah, they lost their Shaq Leonard and everything like that, which could be playing a factor and everything. But yeah, Jake Browning looks like a dog back there in the backfield. Looks comfortable throwing to wide receivers and everything like that. And yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it's only 2 games, I think it is. He's been starting, so or is it three?
no, I think
Two
it's
or
two. I
three
think
games. 2 games,
yeah,
yes. I wouldn't. I mean, yeah, he's had two phenomenal games. Looks like a good young quarterback, but Aaron Rodgers mentioned this about a lot of the young quarterbacks in the NFL. He was speaking about, obviously Jordan Love, yeah, Jake Browning, and also that DeVito playing for the Giants.
Tommy DeVito. Yeah,
Yeah, you can't like put him up on a pedestal yet. I mean, they're still young, especially he's only played 2 games, and I think the same about I think DeVito's played 4 games or 3 games. So
yeah, three or four,
um,
something like that. Yeah.
so I don't want to put him on a pedestal yet, but yeah, he looks good so far. But I want to see how he finishes the season and see where the Bengals end up.
Yeah, they're looking for a playoff spot too. Like I said, I think they were like ninth or tenth in the AFC, but they're right there with the standings, like 7-6. Like I said, there's 6 teams at 7-6 um for the NFL or for the AFC. So they could move up if they keep winning all that good stuff. Yeah, they're sitting at, let's see here, playoff. Yeah, they're sitting at 10th right now at 7-6, ahead of the Buffalo Bills, right behind the Broncos. So yeah, a lot of games to be played, four more games left, which could make or break some people's playoff chances and everything like that. So
Yeah, especially I mean, you mentioned before we get to the next game, you mentioned like a lot of those teams in the AFC that are 7-6, and then a lot of the teams. There's a lot of teams in the NFC that are 6-7. So yeah, these next 4 games are huge for a lot of teams. I mean,
yeah,
either make or break you for playoff
100%,
chances.
100%. Well, I mean, every game's big game, but yeah, still, these last four matter a lot more. I mean, they all matter, but you know what I mean.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, and then keeping it in the AFC, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to Cleveland, and Joey Flacco, the 43-year-old or however old he is, coming back from time right off his couch and upsetting the Jacksonville Jaguars 31-27. He throws 3 touchdowns and 300 yards. So
Hmm.
yeah,
I
he's
had
still
called that. I mean, he's still he. I mean, and I think there's a lot of teams that could use a Joe Flacco right now.
oh yeah,
For instance, I mean, the Vikings could use somebody like that. Um, he kind of reminds me a little bit of Kirk. I mean, obviously Kirk's a little bit better, but um, yeah, that's a good quarterback to have in your locker room.
yeah,
Like I
veteran
mentioned multiple times.
presence.
Yeah,
Yeah, veteran
and he's still got
presence.
an arm as he's proven. I mean,
Yeah.
0 turnovers, 3 touchdowns, and over 300 yards.
He had
Um,
one interception
but did he
at
have an
the
interception?
yeah, just one
Yeah,
at the beginning of the
still
game.
it's not too bad, but and he got a win. So Bengals and Browns get big wins with
Yeah.
backup quarterbacks.
Yep, exactly. I mean, every quarterback is a backup in the AFC
Hmm.
North there besides the Ravens.
Right.
You have Mitch Trubisky starting for the Steelers and Joe
Yeah.
Flacco for the Browns and Jake Browning for the Bengals. But yeah, if they're getting wins, that's all that matters. So yeah, solid win for the Browns. They moved to 8-5 and Jaguars fall to 8-5. So yeah, they're right on the bottom of that AFC poll for the Jaguars are still leading their division, but could be looking different here in a little bit. Next couple games. So good solid win for the Browns and they moved to 8-5. Yeah, yeah, that's a good game for the Browns and good win. So
Hmm.
Joe Flacco just got to
Yes,
keep it
sir.
up. And then you have the 1-12 Panthers head into New Orleans. And yeah, just New Orleans put on a whooping there. Dak Prescott, or not Dak Prescott, Derek Carr comes back from that concussion and starts the game. Um, yeah, they win 28-6. Uh, wasn't much of a game at all. I mean, the Panthers are just falling apart. They're not
Yeah.
really doing much at all.
Yeah. What are they?
Um,
1-13 now, or one
one
and
and
twelve?
12. Yeah, 1-12.
Yeah. So Yeah, I mean, not as expected. I knew the Saints were going to win that game, especially with, yeah, I think the Panthers are just kind of giving up now, um, especially with that record. There's no way you're going to make the playoffs. They're just in a shitty situation when, when you trade your first pick away, your first round pick away,
They got
and then
like, yeah,
your team sucks. Yeah, it's just unfortunate.
yeah, they don't have any first round picks this year, and I think they traded away a couple second round picks as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, tough for the Panthers, and they fired their coach, all that fun stuff. So yeah, they're going through some things for sure. So yeah, solid win from
Absolutely.
the Saints, keeps them kind of in the wild card hunt in the NFC. But yeah,
Hmm.
solid win from the Saints there. And then you had the Houston Texans head into MetLife in New York and getting upset by the Jets at home in New York, in New Jersey, and everything. And Zach Wilson pretty much has the best game of his career. Throws
Hmm.
for over 302 touchdowns, no turnovers. Garrett Wilson had 108 yards on 9 catches. So
Yeah,
yeah,
and then I think what's his name? Brees Hall had 70, 80 yards on the through the air as well. Um,
yep,
yeah, they both they stepped up, and I know that Zach Wilson. I mean, I think he said, or he was talking to one of his teammates in the locker room prior to the game, and said, "I'm just gonna sling it because I have nothing to lose. What are they gonna do? Bench me again?" He's
right.
benched multiple times this year. Um, so yeah, I mean, they're sitting at like I think right now like a 5% chance to make the playoffs. If they win out, I'm not sure how that changes, but um, it's a big win for Zach Wilson. You beat a good team, um, good quarterback as well. What was the final score? 30-6.
30-6, yeah. And CJ
Yeah.
Stroud leaves in the fourth quarter with a concussion. So yeah, the Jets defense was getting after CJ Stroud. He got sacked like 4 or 5 times. He's on the ground a lot, getting pressured a lot. So yeah, Jets defense showed up, Jets offense showed up, and yeah, solid win for the Jets and everything. They moved to 5-8. Texans fall to 7-6. And yeah, like I said, they're still outside that wild card hunt and everything like that. But the Houston's a solid team and everything, but they are missing Nico Collins, who got hurt this week,
Hmm.
and then Tank Dell last week, and then their
Yep.
quarterback goes down. That was pretty much their whole team.
Yep.
So we'll see what happens with the Texans. Hopefully they can get a couple more dubs and make the playoffs, because that would be a cool story.
Hmm.
I think
Oh,
D'Amico Ryan deserves, yeah, the coach of the year for what he's done down there. So
right, especially with that young of a team. Yeah, for sure.
right, but yeah, solid win for the Jets. Tough loss for the Texans. But yeah, Zach Wilson gets his confidence back. We'll see who's starting next week for the Jets, but it was a good game for Zach Wilson. He came out and was throwing some darts and everything like that. So yeah. And then you had this one was a fun game to watch too. You had the LA Rams going head into Baltimore, take on the Ravens in the birdcage. And Ravens with a walk off punt return in overtime to win the game. So that was pretty fun to watch. Um, yeah, Tylen Wallace was the one who returned that punt and
Hmm.
everything like that. That was his first ever punt return in the NFL. He's not
And he
usually a
scored a
punt
touchdown.
returner. Yeah,
There you
right.
go. There
So
you go.
he might be the Ravens punt returner from here on out. But OBJ had a game.
Hmm.
Lamar Jackson throws for 303 touchdowns. Cooper Kupp had 115 and a touchdown, so that was one of his best games of the season. But just wasn't enough to knock off the AFC leaders, the Baltimore Ravens. They're sitting
Yeah.
at 10-3 now, and Rams at 6-7. So
Right. Yeah. I'm riding with the Ravens. Like I don't think they let me down. Maybe once in the past 5 or 6 weeks, but they're looking good. They got a lot of weapons. Yeah, Odell Beckham stepping up when he needed to, and then yeah, just their defense
Isaiah
is not
Likely, yeah,
not bad. Yeah, Likely's good. Yeah, and then yeah, obviously Lamar Jackson doing it on with his legs and through the air. They're going to be a scary team when it comes playoff time.
yeah, 100%. And they get home field advantage. Tough place to play in Baltimore. So yeah, it was a great win for the Ravens, and it was a fun game to watch. Right at the end of the game, I flipped it over, and I was like, oh shit, it was right in time for the punt return. I was like, great timing to switch it over to the game. So
Yes, sir.
yeah, solid win for the Ravens. They're at 10-3. Rams fall to 6-7, but like 6-7 in the NFC could get you into the wild card here
Hmm.
if they win a couple more games there. Um, and then yeah, probably one of the most boring games of the week. You had the Minnesota Vikings traveling to Las Vegas to take on the Raiders. Vikings end up pulling this one out 3-0. Lowest NFL score lowest scoring NFL game in the past 16 years.
Yeah, it's crazy. And they didn't score their
Um,
points until what, the fourth quarter?
yeah, it was like a walk-off field goal. It was
Jesus.
pretty shitty game, but we did get the dub, moved to 7-6. And then yeah, JJ comes back this week, and then first quarter gets hurt with a chest injury,
Yeah.
gets taken to the hospital, all that fun stuff.
Yeah,
Alexander Madison got hurt.
I haven't heard a designation for him this week. I know you guys play on Saturday, but I haven't heard a designation for him. Is he gonna play?
Yeah, I don't know. I
I
wouldn't
know
risk it.
that.
I don't.
Yeah, I mean you need to risk it because these are the games you need to win. And I know that Josh Dobbs officially benched today. He's gonna be your second stringer.
Yep.
And you're going with Nick Mullins. So you're not even going with Jaron Hall. You're going with Nick Mullins to start out your
Yeah,
game
and
on Saturday.
he played pretty well
It's
when
pretty
he
good. Yeah.
yeah, he played pretty well when he was playing. And then yeah, did you hear about the offensive coordinator Phillips getting a DUI?
Mm,
The Vikings offensive coordinator got a DUI and stuff like that. So that might have been affected going into the game and everything like that. But either way, we got the dub 3-0.
right. That's all that matters, man.
Yeah, so we'll see what happens with JJ. I think he might have broken a rib or something. That was a pretty big hit coming across
Yeah.
the middle. But yeah, 3-0. We'll take the dub and we'll move on to next week. next week. So
Yep.
um, then yeah, the Seattle Seahawks heading to San Francisco to take on the 49ers. 49ers are just dominant, probably the best team in the league. They win 28-16 over the Seahawks. A little bit of a tussle between DK Metcalf and the 49ers defense and everything like
You know what's
that.
it? Fred Warner.
Yeah,
Fred Warner
yeah,
grabbed his helmet and was like, I don't know what
yeah,
he was
well,
like.
yeah, DK Metcalf pretty much like suplexed Fred Warner, like picked him up off the ground and like suplexed him back. And then they both got up and DK was talking shit in his face and all that fun stuff. But I mean, that's DK's kind of style of play. I mean, he's kind of hot headed and yeah, I mean, if
Yeah, I
he's
wouldn't.
playing well, then
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wouldn't fuck with him either. If that's what you're
No,
gonna say, try to get in his head and
that's
everything.
what I was gonna say. Yeah, he's gonna
Yeah,
kick him over and, like you said,
yeah.
suplex. Yeah,
Yeah, no, he's a big ass motherfucker. But yeah, Christian McCaffrey with 145 yards on the ground, Debo Samuel with 149 through the air and a touchdown. And he also Debo Samuel also had a rushing touchdown as well. And Brock Purdy throws for 368 and 2 touchdowns. This dude is making his way into the playoff, or not the playoff, but the MVP race.
mm,
Probably atop of the MVP race with Dak Prescott and Tyreek Hill and everything like that. So um,
absolutely.
yeah, great season for Purdy when he's healthy. Just hopefully he stays healthy for playoff time because that's when it all fell apart last year. So hopefully he can stay healthy. And yeah, it would be kind of fun to see the 49ers win. They've gotten close the last couple of years. And yeah, so solid win for the 49ers. They moved to 10-3 and Seattle falls to 6-7. But like we said, NFC, everyone's pretty much at 6-7. So they still have a chance to get into the playoffs there. So
Right, right.
yeah, moving on to the next one. This one was a crazy ass game as well. Towards the end, you had the Buffalo Bills traveling to Arrowhead Stadium to take on the Chiefs. And yeah, Bills with a late go ahead field goal to pull it to 20-17. And then that whole controversy with Kadarius Toney, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, that last play of the game, or not the last play, but that second down play
To
where
go ahead and win the game,
to win the
walk off
game.
win. Yeah,
Yeah. So Patrick Mahomes throws it to Travis Kelce on like a curl route, 15-yard curl route. Travis Kelce makes a guy miss, runs up the field about 10, 15 yards, gets kind of swarmed by 2 or 3 people, throws it back to Toney. Toney catches it and goes for a touchdown. And then everything gets called back because Kadarius Toney's toes were about 4 or 5 inches over the ball there, over the line of scrimmage, which
yeah.
if you look at
And
yeah, go ahead.
he is. Yeah, he was offsides, but I
Yeah.
think it's just the way people have, like, even Blandino, I think, was talking about it. He said that they don't call that much. He says it's been called maybe, I don't
12
know how many times he
times
said, 12 times ever, or just this year,
this season. Yeah.
this season, which is with how many plays you've run,
Yeah.
um,
And we have,
very
and
small percentage.
yeah, and we're sitting at 128 and 80. So that's 208 games. And it's
Yeah,
only been called 12 times. And then,
and how
yeah,
many
snaps,
snaps,
right,
right?
are in a game. Exactly.
But I don't know. he was offsides. You can't say he wasn't. It's just unfortunate that it was on that play.
Right.
Probably one of the best plays that I've seen. I know Travis Kelce's done it before where he tosses it back, but it was one of the best plays,
It's never gone for
especially
a touchdown, but
yeah, never for a
yeah,
touchdown, and in that situation where it's a
to
tight
win the
game.
game. Yeah, to
Yeah,
win it. Yeah. I mean,
so I don't know.
yeah. And
I don't know how.
if you look back, like uh Dan Orlovsky was going over this on last night's game before the game in the pregame and everything. Kadarius Toney was offsides 4 or 5 times that game. He was lined up in the same exact position, slightly over the ball 4 or 5 times that game, and no warning, no nothing. Yeah, so it is kind of a shitty call at that time and point of the game. If he's been doing it all game, then call it, then he'll realize it. But yeah, with a minute left and they run a
Right.
play like that and win the game if that flag isn't thrown, yeah, tough loss for the Chiefs at home. But it was an exciting game. I think that's the second loss with Taylor Swift there. So who knows?
Yeah, and thing with Kadarius Toney, he didn't check with the side judge.
I think he gave him a little look, but he didn't check
He
and
gave him a
see if he
look, but
was
usually you're putting your fist out or pointing at him just to get their attention, and then you can just tell in the video the side judge moves over to
right.
be able to see the ball. So it looks like I think that the ref was just like, okay, I'm not going to say anything. He's
This is too
blatant,
oblivious not to yeah,
right,
too blatant not
right.
to call it. Right.
So
It was just
unfortunate for
some
them, yeah. And the Chiefs
yeah.
don't. That's two losses, and not to great team. I mean, Bills are pretty good, but two losses to not superior teams. So I don't know about the Chiefs, but I think they're still obviously going to make the playoffs and stuff like that. But
Yeah, for sure. But yeah,
that's a loss.
big win for the Bills because that kind of keeps their playoff hopes alive. They would have been sitting at 6-8 if they would have lost, or 6-7, and that's
Mm-hmm.
one game behind all the other 7-6 teams in
Right.
the AFC. So it would have been a tough because they got a tough schedule coming up too. So that was a huge win for the Bills and kind of settles everything down for Sean McDermott. And yeah, he had a rough week and everything like that. So yeah, great win for the Bills, tough loss for the Chiefs, but I'm not worried about the Chiefs. I think they'll keep rolling. They just got to get, like you said, their wide receivers need to get on the same page with the team because yeah, they just don't look like they have any weapons besides Travis Kelce. And then Isaiah Pacheco was out this game and everything like that. But Jerick McKinnon looked good. That could be a fantasy pickup off the waivers and everything for this week. He'd be a good addition to a team, especially if you're trying
Mm-hmm.
to make a playoff push and everything like that. So yeah, solid win for the Bills. They moved to 7-6. Chiefs fall to 8-5 with that loss, two in a row there. So that's tough, but not like I said, not really worried about the Chiefs. I believe in Patrick Mahomes and everything like that. So
Yeah, and let's talk about his antics a little bit. Towards the end of at the end of the game, goes up to Josh Allen. Like all quarterbacks do, they shake each other's hands. They didn't shake it. I mean, they kind of did, but he
yeah,
said it's a bullshit. He said that's fucking bullshit. Um,
yeah, fucking awesome.
in regards to the offsides, because
Yeah,
he probably understood this happened. Like obviously, they don't call it as often. And I've never seen Patrick Mahomes kind of act like that.
right.
So
Yeah, he's kept his
he did
cool
come out
for
today and
yeah.
apologize for acting like that, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's just this competitive spirit. I mean, anybody who's that competitive and has 5 losses when they really haven't had 5 losses in like the past 3 years, more
Right.
than 5 losses. So yeah, I think things are just falling apart there in KC. But I mean, you saw they should have won that game. Not should have. I shouldn't say that, but they were going to win that game if that flag isn't thrown. Then it'd be a totally different conversation, and everything like that. I mean, I
Yeah,
don't
it
think
would.
yeah, it was just unfortunate, but solid win for the Bills. Tough loss for the Chiefs. So we'll see what next week brings. But yeah. Then you have the Denver Broncos traveling to Los Angeles to take on the Chargers. And yeah, Broncos win this one 24-7.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert breaks his other finger now. Broke his other index finger or something
Yep,
like
and
that.
he's having surgery here shortly, and he's out for the year. So that's huge for Chargers. I mean,
Uh,
and you said the Chargers were going to win this game, and I knew they weren't. Just their performances they put up against the Packers, the Patriots. They beat the Patriots 6-0. Even though the Pats beat the Steelers just this past week, but I didn't think they were a good team. There's something going on with their head coach,
yep.
Brandon Staley, and then obviously him dealing with um, obviously two broken index fingers throughout the entire season. So they're going to let him Obviously recover, and the Chargers are going to continue to lose, I think.
Yeah, more than likely. It's not looking good for the Chargers. But it's looking good for the Broncos. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they're at 7-6, just along with all those other AFC teams, but they're in the wild card, just with some of the teams that they've beaten and everything like that. So Broncos keep winning. We'll see them in the playoffs this season and everything like that. But I don't think Chargers are making a push for any wild card hunt or anything like that. So
Yeah.
and then probably one of the games of the week wasn't really a game. Cowboys kind of dominated them, but Philly heading to Dallas, take on the Cowboys. Yeah, Cowboys end up winning that one 33-13, and just an overall dominant performance, offense, defense, special teams for the Cowboys. They moved to 10-3. Eagles are at 10-3, but Cowboys take that number one spot in that division. And yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I picked the Cowboys. Did you pick the Eagles?
yep,
It's looking, yeah, Eagles. They got what, two bad losses back to back.
yep.
Um, and you can say the same thing about the Chiefs. I don't know. Those are the two teams that usually we thought, or we kind of predicted. Both teams were in the Super Bowl last year, and now they're coming off two bad losses. I'd say the Chiefs' losses are worse, but the Cowboys are really good. I could
Cowboys do
see
look good, especially at
Cowboys and
home.
49ers in the NFC. I think are your top two teams. I would have to say.
Yeah, that
They got
went. That was
16. They got 13 or 4. I think it's 14 straight home wins for Dallas
16,
Cowboys. Is it 16?
16 home wins, and they're averaging like 36.6 points a game when they're at home.
Yeah, their offense is
Um,
electric.
oh yeah, they're dominating, but they do have the Bills next week, the Dolphins the week following, and then the Lions the week following. So they do have a tough schedule
They do,
uh,
yeah.
coming up, and finishing the season. But and then Eagles have kind of an easy walk in the park here for the rest of the season. I mean, they got Seattle next week, but then they have the Giants, the Cardinals, and then the Giants again. So I see them finishing out 14-3 over the next 4 weeks, but we'll see what happens with the Cowboys. But yeah, Cowboys do look good, and it's gonna suck. Yeah, Cowboys fall to a wild card spot, and then they're gonna have to play a tough team the next week. So if Philly wins, gets the number one spot, and the Cowboys fall to number five, whoever wins that game, Philly or Cowboys are gonna play Philly again in the in
Mm-hmm.
the semifinals or the quarterfinals or whatever.
Quarterfinal.
Yeah, to get to the NFC Championship game. So yeah, it's going to be a tough road for the Cowboys and the Eagles, but yeah, Cowboys look like a good team. Probably right up there with the 49ers and
Yep.
the Ravens. So yeah, it was a good game for the Cowboys. Nothing from the Eagles really. So hopefully they can get their poop in a group and everything like that. Um, yeah, and get a couple more wins. I think they'll finish. Yeah, like I said, easy schedule for the Eagles following this next couple games, but we'll see how the Cowboys do with their schedule. They got the Dolphins and the Bills and stuff like that. So then we have the Tennessee Titans Monday night football game. Both of the Tennessee Titans, Dolphins, Packers, and Giants played on Monday night. We had a doubleheader there, and both teams get upset. Titans upset the Dolphins 28-27. Will Levis played pretty well. He kind of got off to a rough start, but finished the game hot. D Hop had a good game. And then yeah, this is pretty much said and done. Tyreek Hill got hurt with a little ankle injury, got rolled up on and everything like that. And it just makes this team a totally different team when Tyreek Hill's not in the game. So say it again. I think you're muted.
Yeah, he did come. He did end up coming back in, but uh, yeah, it does. When he wasn't in the game, they couldn't do anything really on offense. And I just wanted to say something about the Dolphins. I did. I mean, you know how we were mentioning Kadarius Toney lining up offsides. Uh, there was a few times where Jalen Waddle was offsides the exact same way that Kadarius Toney was, and then there's another example where the refs didn't call it. So just wanted to kind of put that out there. But yeah, big win for the Titans. They score 14 points in the last 3 minutes. Actually, more than that. They scored 17. They're down 14 in the last 3 minutes and they end up winning. Um, and I think that's one of the biggest comebacks, and that's awesome for Will Levis. I felt good. He looked pumped up. He was, flexing all over and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, and
um,
he was.
yeah,
Yeah, he wasn't shying away from contact either. He lowered his shoulder a couple times on a couple runs, just to gain that first down or a couple extra yards. And he ran over Jalen Ramsey one time, towards the end zone, and Jalen Ramsey got up and was like, "Hey, try that again." And then
Yeah.
the very next play, they run like a sweep, or they had a Derrick Henry, a wildcat, and Will
Hmm.
Levis was out blocking Jalen Ramsey and
Hmm. Dude,
kind of held him off. And
Will Levis
yeah,
is a big dude. He's a big quarterback.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I don't
he's
think he's
ripped.
scared. He's not scared of contact either.
No, he kind of reminds me of like a Josh Allen type deal,
Yeah,
where
but
they're playing well. So
yeah, bad loss for the Dolphins and big win for the Titans. So unfortunately, yeah, last night's games were really good. I thought, like
yeah,
kind of sloppy, for the Dolphins and Packers, but you know, yeah, I thought they were both good games. I mean, they both came down to, last scoring drives.
yep, yeah. And then let's just run into the Packers Giants game. Uh, yeah, Giants pulled this one off 24-22 with a kind of game winning field goal for the Giants, but Tommy DeVito throws a late strike to Wandale Robinson, who had a
Mm-hmm.
great game. And yeah, they get the game winning field goal. I think it was like a 36 yarder or something like that to win the
37
game.
yarder,
And
37
yeah,
yarder, yeah.
Shaquan Barkley had about 90 yards and two touchdowns. And yeah, the
Mm-hmm.
defense was all over Jordan Love. Um, and yeah, it was a great win for the Giants. I don't know if they're going to make a playoff push. Same with the Titans. I don't know if they'll be able to make a playoff
I don't
push,
think that. I
but
mean, I think the Giants will definitely not, but it depends if DeVito keeps winning out, But
yeah,
I
who
guess we'll see.
knows? Yeah. But yeah, Packers just fall to the Giants, and Dolphins fall to the Titans on Monday Night Football.
Yeah,
Um,
kind of knew that
so
was going to happen. Packers, they usually do. They play really well when they play really good teams, and then when you face a down opponent, they play to that level. Jordan Love fumbles. His first turnover was a fumble, which I mean he was kind of got stood up and ripped it out, and then threw a pick, and then the third turnover was huge. Keyshawn Nixon played
yeah.
absolutely terrible. He drops a punt, and it's just not the way you want to go. And then you're playing 10 yards off. You're playing prevent defense when you don't want them to get down the field and get into field goal range. Like you said, they threw that strike to Wandell Moore, so it's just unfortunate. And yeah, Packers lose one, but I don't think it affects them that much. But they do have to win out if they want a for sure chance to make the playoffs.
Yeah, so yeah, they're sitting at that seventh spot at the bottom of the last team in the wild card in the NFC. But I have faith in the Packers. Yeah, they're playing pretty well. I did want them to lose last night just so the Vikings had a little bit more breathing room.
Yeah,
But yeah, I think the Packers will get back on track next week, and everything like that. Just sucks not having Aaron Jones in there and everything. So
and Christian Watson,
Christian Watson was
two
out.
big
Yeah.
playmakers there. But yeah,
Yeah, but overall, great win for the Giants. Tough loss for the Packers. Yeah, Giants moved to 5-8. Packers moved fall to 6-7. But yeah, like I said, they're still at that seventh spot in the wild card in the NFC. So
yeah. They mean they got to win these big games. They got four big games coming up. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but I think that will bounce back. I think it's a good game to have next week at home. And as we get into mid December, early January, obviously Lambeau's a tough place to play when it starts snowing and it's cold. So yeah, and then yeah, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but they're not familiar with that type of weather. So hopefully it's snowy as shit next week, and we get a dub there.
yeah, that was actually the Packers and Matt LaFleur's first loss in December. Um,
Yep, yep.
so I mean, yeah, they're usually pretty good in
16
December,
and
but
one. Yep.
it helps that 16-0 was majority Aaron Rodgers. So it helps when you
Mhm.
have a quarterback like that. But like we mentioned last week, the statistics of Aaron Rodgers and Jordan Love are basically identical at
Yep.
this point in the stage of their career. So yeah, we'll see what happens there. Packers do have the Bucks next week, so that should be a win. But Bucks did play well last week and knocked off the Falcons, who earlier in the year beat the Packers. So we'll see what happens.
By one. Yeah.
Yep, yep. So we'll see, yeah, wins and win, but yeah, we'll see what happens. So yeah, that wraps it up for week 14. My record is 128-80. Tough week for me last week, going 5-10. And gave the lead back up to you. You're sitting at 129-79 through week 14. So yeah, I got to make up some games here coming this week. So we'll
Yes,
just
sir.
start on Thursday night, coming up here in a couple of days. We have the Los Angeles Chargers heading to the Las Vegas Raiders, both sitting at 5-8 for records. And Las Vegas has a 3-point advantage at home. Yeah, who do you got? They got Aiden O'Connell starting at quarterback too,
Yeah,
and
I'm gonna
everything.
go. I know that the Raiders didn't have a very good game last week against the Minnesota Vikings, but neither did the Chargers, and the Chargers ended up losing their starting quarterback. So I'm gonna go Raiders at home in Las Vegas.
Yeah, so they got Easton Stick as
Yep,
their
and he
starting.
went. And Easton Stick is a former NDSU quarterback.
Yep, North Dakota State. And then
Yep.
they also have Max Duggan
Oh yeah,
from
from TCU.
TCU as their second string, and then yeah, Justin Herbert's on IR with that broken index finger. But yeah, should be a good game. It's gonna be low scoring Monday night game, but I think yeah, I have the Raiders in this one as well, taking down the Chargers. And Raiders look good. Their defense is solid. And then Aiden O'Connell doesn't look too bad. And then Josh Jacobs and Jacoby Myers, Devonta Adams, all those people. I think yeah, the Raiders get a dub in this one at home.
Yeah.
And then we have the starting off Sunday night or Saturday night or so
Yeah,
Saturday.
first
There's 3 games. Yeah,
yeah, first game's on Saturday this year, and
yep,
that's I think that's usually like the sign up. Yeah, now we're getting to the end of the season because that's when it
yep.
starts happening.
Into the playoffs. Yep. So
Yeah,
Saturday we have first game at noon o'clock. That is going to be the Minnesota Vikings traveling to Cincinnati to the jungle to take on the Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals have a 3.5 point spread in this one at home. Who do you got in this one?
yeah, I'm gonna go Cincy here. Both with I think I consider that Mullins a third string quarterback. I think he actually is, um, and then obviously a second string quarterback for Cincy. But I'm gonna go Cincy. They've been looking good. That kid's been playing good. What's his name?
Jake Browning.
Jake Browning. Yeah, he's been playing good the past 2 games, and I think he's gonna continue to play good. And I'm gonna take Cincy at home.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Vikings on the road. I think yeah, they show a little bit better performance on the offensive end. Start running some better routes. Get TJ Hawkinson more involved. It's gonna suck that Alexander Madison's questionable with a concussion, but I think Ty Chandler showed up last time he started and played pretty well. So yeah, give me the Vikings in this one over the Cincinnati Bengals in the jungle. So I'm gonna take the Vikes. I'm gonna stick with them,
Got
and
to,
hopefully
got to.
get a couple more wins here underneath our belt, and yeah, move up in that playoff spot there. So yeah, and then the 3:30 game on Saturday, you have the Steelers versus the Indianapolis Colts in Indianapolis. Indianapolis has a 2.5 point spread in this one at home. Like we mentioned, Steelers kind of falling apart. Uh, and this is a big game because this would bump the Colts up over the Steelers in the wild card and everything like that. So this is a big game um, for both of these teams, both sitting at 7-6. Yeah, who do you got in this one?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Colts. Just with Mitchell Trubisky starting, not a fan of him at all. I don't think he's very good. And just the way
Nope.
they performed last week, I like Gardner Minshew. I think he's gonna take this one home. Yeah, like you mentioned, this is a huge game for the Colts and the Steelers. But I think the Colts are gonna take it home.
Yeah, I think the Colts are going to win this one at home as well. Just because, I mean, you had TJ Watt go out with a couple injuries, got kneed in the face by Ezekiel Elliott, who had a
Yeah,
dominant game last
yeah, he
week.
did. Yes, he did.
Back to his normal Zeke ways. He's eating again. But yeah, that defense kind of falling apart. Mickey Fitzpatrick had some words to say after the game about some of his wide receivers and everything. So yeah, a lot of locker room trouble there in Pittsburgh. And yeah, I think the Colts win this one at home. Still don't have Jonathan Taylor, but Zach Moss has been playing well. Michael Pittman's been playing well. So yeah, give me the Colts at home in this one as well. And then yeah, and then we have the Saturday night game. Kind of weird to say, but that's the Denver Broncos traveling to Detroit to take on the Lions, coming off that loss. Yeah, Detroit has a 5 point spread in this one at home. Lions or Broncos at 7-6, Lions at 9-4. Who do you got in this one?
This is a tough one, I think. Just the way that Detroit's been playing, and then the way that Denver's been playing.
Right.
Um, One's on a downhill or decline, and one's on, obviously playing a lot better. God, this is a tough one.
Broncos defense too has like 15 or 16 takeaways in the last like 8 weeks.
Yeah, with Patrick
Their
Surtain.
their
Yeah,
defense is stepping up and playing well. And then yeah, Russell Wilson's
yeah,
been playing well and everything like that.
it's a tough one.
Yeah, I'll pick before you here. I'm gonna go Broncos on at this one. I I need the Lions to lose, but I want to see the Broncos win a few more. This could be comeback player of the year could be. I mean, that's not going to be Russell Wilson, but it's going to be DeMar Hamlin. But he's been having one of his best years, especially with the
Especially
Broncos.
after,
So
yeah, yeah, after last year.
traded, yeah,
I'm gonna go Detroit. Yeah, I gotta go Detroit. I think just being at home is gonna be a
at
little
home,
different.
yeah,
I'm gonna go Detroit at home. Got to. I think um, hopefully Jared Goof steps up and um, isn't a goof anymore because he's had a phenomenal year. Just the past few games, just
I
kind of shit in
mean,
the bed. So
yeah, he has had a good year. He's sitting at like 3,500 yards and 21 touchdowns and then 10 interceptions. And I think like 5 or 6 of those interceptions came in the last 3 weeks.
mhm.
So yeah, he's been having a good year, but this isn't the time to start falling apart. To be completely honest with you, especially if you're trying to hold on to that number one spot in the division and everything like that. But it is at home in the Motor City of Detroit, Michigan. So we'll see what happens. But I got the Broncos in this one, and you said you got the Lions.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Lions.
All righty. And then moving on to Sunday games, the noon o'clock games, we have the Chicago Bears coming off that win against the Lions, traveling to Cleveland to take on the Browns. Browns also coming off a big win. And Cleveland has a three point spread in this one at home in the dog pound. Who do you got?
I'm gonna go Browns. Like Joe Flacco. Um, yeah, the Bears had a really impressive performance against the Lions last week. But yeah, I think Joe Flacco is just gonna dog it out. I'll probably ride with Joe Flacco the remainder of the year. If he keeps playing the way he is. Yeah, I'm gonna go Browns at home.
Yeah,
Go Dogs.
Browns at home sounds like a pretty good pick there. Bears though, they got Justin Fields back. They're looking healthy. Um, yeah, defense looks pretty good, especially against that Lions offense, which can be pretty explosive. Um, but yeah, Lions didn't play well at all last week. Um, and Browns played well with Joe Flacco. I don't know how long he can keep doing this, but the defense is what's kind of keeping them at 8-5 as basically their defense. And yeah, they got a solid defense with Myles Garrett and all those dogs in the backfield. Yeah, I'm gonna go Browns in this one. This one's gonna be close. It is a 3-point spread for Cleveland, and it'll probably be that 3 points. But yeah, I'm gonna go Browns as well. They've been playing well, and I think their defense is better than the Bears' defense, even though the Bears have been playing well on defense as well.
Yeah,
I like the Browns' defense a little bit better. You
and
got
even I think David Njoku, he played pretty well last week.
Oh yeah, he balled out. Joe Flacco threw to him 8 times. He had like 96 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, and
Kind of.
he's probably. It kind of seems like David Njoku is going to be Joe Flacco's like security blanket.
Oh
Um,
yeah,
and obviously to ride this out and hopefully they make the playoffs because it would be pretty damn cool to have the Browns go deep in the playoffs with Joe Flacco. That'd be
yeah,
awesome.
and yeah. Joe Flacco is a Super Bowl champ, so he knows what it's like to get there and how to win. So,
Yes, sir.
yeah, we'll both take the Browns in this one at home and the dog pound. And then like you said, you had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming off that win against Atlanta, traveling to Green Bay, coming off that loss against New York. But Green Bay does have a 3.5 point spread at home in this one, and they're both sitting at 6-7 for records. But yeah, who do you got in this one?
Yeah, I'm gonna go obviously Green Bay. I just hope they got to pick it up. I mean, their defenses they cannot stop the run.
And special teams didn't help last week.
Special teams, yeah, just turnovers, taking care of the ball. They look like a totally different team last night than they had the past 4 weeks or 5 weeks, I should say. Um, yeah, it's just unfortunate, but yeah, I think they're going to win this game. Being at home, I know it's supposed to looks like it's um, no snow in Green Bay.
It's gonna be cold
Um,
though, 34
it's going to be
degrees.
cold. Yep. So we'll see. But yeah, I got the Packers at home.
Yeah, I want to go with Packers, but I don't want them to win again, especially against the NFC team. I think I'm gonna go Bucks in this one. Like you said, I like Baker and the way he's been playing. Probably one of his best years he's ever had. Kind of feels like this is the system for him. Chris Godwin needs to get a little bit more involved, but Mike Evans needs to have a way better performance than he did last week. Only one catch for 8 yards on 8 targets or 6 targets or something like that. But like you said, Packers can't stop the run, and Rashid White is coming off a hell of a game last week through the ground or on the ground and through the air too.
Yeah,
Um, and then yeah, but Packers have just been playing a little sloppy. I mean, like you said, three
that was one
turnovers.
game. Yeah, one game. They hadn't had any turnovers the past 3 weeks prior to this game, so that was one game. And I mean, yeah, I mean, everybody knew that the Packers. I mean, I picked the Packers to win last night, but Ty Schmidt off of PMS, Pat McAfee show. It's what the Packers do. They go into um, the shitty team's house and play down to their skill level. And yeah, I mean, we should have walked all over those guys. And yeah, our defense, we won the game. Jordan Love did what he's supposed to. He threw a touchdown in the end zone. Kind of walk off and win that game by one. And then our defense just plays sloppy defense. So hopefully they make these corrections. And then, yeah, especially in Rich Bisaccia's got to step it up big time because that's what killed us the most too, besides our defense.
Yeah, and Jordan Love like had that one good throw. I mean, not one good throw, but he had a that one good throw in the end zone for that touchdown. But he was off the whole first half. He wasn't throwing. He was
Yeah, and they did
overthrowing,
say it was windy
misthrowing.
as hell though.
Yeah, yeah. Wind did play a factor, but if you're gonna be playing in Green Bay as a starting quarterback, you gotta deal with the
Yeah,
weather. Like you said, tough place to play, especially when it comes to December and everything like that. Hands get cold, ball gets cold, windy, snow on the ground. So but yeah, I like the Bucks in this one. Give me the Bucks on the road in this one. They're 3-4 on the road. And I think they'll move to 4-4 after, or yeah, 4-4 on the road after they beat the Packers in Lambeau. So yeah, give me the Bucks in this one. And then you have another noon o'clock game. You have the Houston Texans facing the Tennessee Titans. Texans coming off a loss. Titans coming off a big win over the Dolphins. And Tennessee actually has a 2.5 point spread in this one, probably because CJ Stroud is hurt. And they don't have either of their star wide receivers, or number one or number two wide receiver. But yeah, who do you got in this one?
I'm gonna go Titans. Let's go Will Levis. Yeah, and like you mentioned, yeah, their three best players are hurt. I'm doubting that CJ Stroud's gonna play. Who knows? But I think that game last night against Miami for the Titans was a huge momentum booster, especially for Will Levis, kind of make it his team. And then yeah, D Hop balled the hell out. Kind of looked like his old self. Um, yeah, Derrick Henry. Yeah, I'm gonna go Titans here at home.
Yeah, no, Derrick Henry had two rushing touchdowns last night, and yeah, D Hop had 130 and a touchdown. So yeah, Will Levis looking solid for the Tennessee Titans, but I just think that that win over the Dolphins kind of was like their Super Bowl. Kind of too much hype around that win, and I think they're going to come back down to earth here on Sunday, and I think the Texans are going to get that dub on the road. Even if CJ Stroud doesn't play, let me see who their backup is. Just because I want to, yeah, let's see who that is. Oh, it doesn't even give me a depth chart here. Give me a second.
All right, let's go. Yeah, okay.
But yeah, so CJ Stroud, Davis Mills.
Yeah, he's
He
dog shit.
started, no, he started last year and he played pretty well actually.
How many wins did they have last year?
Oh, I don't know.
Three.
They make me go through all this, but I mean, yeah, I
They had three
think
wins last year.
yeah, and but he played well. I mean, they had what's his face for the Dallas, Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks had 1,000 yard season last year and everything like that. So I think Davis Mills just has to come in. Yeah, like we said, doesn't have any wide receivers to throw to really. But we'll see what happens. I like the Texans in this one, especially coming off a loss. I think they're going to bounce back and get this W. Um, yeah, get this W over the Titans. So I'm gonna go with the Texans in this one.
All right, on to the next one.
Yeah, and then we got the New York Jets traveling to Miami to take on the Dolphins. Jets at 5-8, Dolphins at 9-4, coming off that loss to the Titans. But Miami does have an 8.5 point spread in this one. Just feels like all of their spreads are just outrageous and everything like that. But yeah, give me the. I'll take the Dolphins in this one. I'll just go ahead and pick right now. I like the Dolphins in this one. I think they're just going to bounce back. This
Yeah,
team is too explosive to not put up. Yeah, too explosive to keep losing,
Yep,
and
I'm gonna
stuff
go
like that.
Dolphins as well. I don't care if the Jets put up 30 points against the Texans last week. Dolphins, yeah, they lost. That's a heartbreaker, especially to lose like that. They're gonna bounce back, and hopefully Tyreek Hill's healthy. I think he is. But yeah, they'll probably roll over the Jets.
Yeah, if Tyreek's not healthy, I mean, you got Jalen Waddle, you got Devon Achan, you got uh Raheem Mostert.
Yep.
They got weapons all around the field, fast as fuck. They still got like Chase Claypool and all those guys as well. So I mean, they have plenty of weapons to cycle through. But yeah, like we said, Tyreek Hill, if he's out, does make a difference, but I don't think it's going to make a huge difference against the Jets there. So yeah, give me the
Yep.
Dolphins in this one at home. And then you have the Kansas City Chiefs traveling to New England. Chiefs coming off a loss. They're sitting at 8-5. Patriots coming off a W, sitting at 3-10. But yeah, KC has a 9.5 point spread in this one on the road. Who do you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Chiefs here. I think they're gonna walk into Foxborough and just roll right over them. This is a big game, especially with two back-to-back losses for the Chiefs. You have to get on a winning the track of winning. Um, if you lose this game, it's kind of concerning if you're a Chiefs fan, just because yeah, three back-to-back losses against not great teams. Um, yeah, I think they're gonna go in there and roll over them though.
Yeah, I think Chiefs bounce back in this one, especially over the Patriots. Like I said, that's probably a Super Bowl win for the New England Patriots. I mean, they haven't been able to get anything, but Bailey Zappi's looking good. He's got some zippy zap on the ball and all that good stuff. So, but yeah, give me the Chiefs in this one. It might be a closer game than 9.5. Um, especially if the Patriots defense steps up and if Chiefs offense is good. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't have any concern about the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Yeah, give me the Chiefs in this one. And then you have the another noon o'clock game. The New York Giants sitting at 5-8, traveling down to New Orleans to take on the 6-7 Saints. Um, yeah, Saints coming off a dub, and so are the Giants. New Orleans has a 6 point advantage in this one at home. Who do you got?
It's a tough one. I want to go because I do like that DeVito kid. I like the bull, just to see how like pumped they were. Um,
Everyone in the stands is going, hey, hey, yeah,
yeah, but I'm gonna go Saints here at home. I think the Saints are too good. I think it was a fluke. I mean, the Packers played like ass. The Packers lost that game. The Giants didn't win that game. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go Saints.
Yeah, I'm gonna rock with Tommy DeVito and go with the Giants. Their defense, Thibodeau, that number 5 with the arm brace and everything like
Yep.
that. He played well last night. And then I think they're just gonna keep it up on defense. You're gonna pressure Derek Carr, and Derek Carr got a little heated at his line last week and was talking shit, and then kind of got in an argument walking off the field and everything. So that could cause some controversy in the locker room, and line doesn't like when their quarterback's yelling at them and everything. So yeah, I like the Giants in this one. I think Saquon, he played well last week. Think he's going to play well again this week. And I said this 4 or 5 podcasts in a row. Do not like Derek Carr, really at all. So yeah, I'm going to go with the Giants and rock with the Italian, the Tommy Cutlets, and take the Giants in this one, on the road. So yeah,
Yo.
and then we got the another noon o'clock game. There's about 5 or 6 or 7 noon o'clock games. Holy fuck! But then we
Yeah,
have
I
the
don't think there's any buys this week.
yeah, there is not none. And then we have the Atlanta Falcons coming off that loss. They're sitting at 6-7, traveling to Carolina to take on the 1-12 Panthers. Atlanta only has a 3 point advantage in this one on the road. But yeah, who do you got?
Atlanta. I don't see. I mean, being 1-12, I don't know. It'd be tough to have motivation to go to to win. And I think the Falcons do have a lot of motivation. And then obviously you said Desmond Ritter coming off a 350-yard or 300-yard game passing. I'm
Yep.
hoping to keep that up. But I think the Falcons are going to win that game.
Yeah, I think the Falcons are going to win this one as well. Their defense is actually pretty solid. And I can't remember his name off the top of my head right away. But their safety who had like a 98-yard interception return about 2 weeks ago. Anyway, yeah, I think the Falcons defense is great. And then they have Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, and Cordell Patterson. And then they also have Drake London, who had a great game last week. I think he had like 130 yards and a couple touchdowns or something like that. But he had a great game. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Falcons in this one. Desmond Ridder played well, but hopefully he doesn't stoop down to Bryce Young's level. Because yeah, it's only a 3-point spread, which is probably gonna be pretty accurate. I think this one will be a lot closer
Yeah,
than
I
people
agree.
think.
I think it'll be close too.
But yeah, I like the Falcons though on the road in this one. Yeah, the Panthers just don't have much going for them at this point. So yeah, give me the Falcons, and you got the Falcons as well. Then we have a 3:05 game. We have the Washington Commanders traveling to Los Angeles to take on the Rams. Rams coming off a close loss to the Ravens, but put up 31 points. And then Commanders, they're coming off a bye. Um, so, yeah, who do you got in this one? Rams have a 6.5 point spread at home in
Yeah,
this one.
yeah. I think the way the Rams played, even though they lost last week, um, I think they're going to win. I know the Commanders have rest, but I think the Rams and Cooper Cup had one of his best games. Yeah, I'm going to go Rams at home.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Rams at home in this one. What's his name? Matt Stafford has been playing lights out the last
Yeah,
couple
he is.
weeks, and been throwing dots and stuff like that. So yeah, I like the Rams in this one. They're a pretty decent team. Record doesn't really speak for it, but they are in the wild card hunt in the NFC along with all the other 6 and 7 teams. And if they get a couple more wins, who knows? We might see them. They won the Super Bowl a couple years ago with OBJ and all those guys. So who says they can't do it again? Matt Stafford and everything like that. And the way that
Right.
he's playing, have all those weapons, Puka Nakua, Cooper Cup, the running back Karen Williams or whatever his name is. I mean, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they've been playing well. And then even though Washington's coming off of a bye, they give up so many sacks, and I think Von Miller's going to have a not Von Miller, but Aaron Donald's going to have a field day
Donald,
with field day with the Washington line. So yeah, give me the
probably.
Rams in
Yeah.
this one. I'll take the Rams in this one, and you got the Rams as well. So
Yep. Yep.
and then moving on to another 3 o'clock game, you have the San Francisco 49ers sitting at 10-3, traveling down to Arizona to take on the 3-10 Arizona Cardinals. San Francisco has a 13.5 point spread on this one on the road. Who do you got?
49ers are going to roll over them. I think it's going to be a 3 or 4 score game, and they're going to really show. I mean, they have the past few weeks of how dominant they are, but you're really going to see it against a shitty team and how they can, dominate every aspect of the football game. Special teams, defense, and offense.
Yeah, 100%. I think the Cardinals are just trying to go for a good draft pick at this point, sitting at 3-10, not doing too much with Kyler Murray or James Conner or anything like that. Yeah, they're still going to fight hard, but yeah, I think the 49ers are just going to roll all over this one. I have them covering that 13.5 point spread pretty easily. Yeah,
Absolutely.
probably a 38-10 game. They'll probably win by 28 points in this one,
Yeah.
just with their defense and then their offense and the special teams. Yeah, they're cruising through these teams and everything like that. So yeah, give me the 49ers on the road in this one. And then probably the game of the week, probably going to be one of the better ones. You have the Dallas Cowboys sitting at 10-3, traveling to Buffalo to take on the 7-6 Bills. Surprisingly enough, the Buffalo Bills have a 2.5 point spread in this one. Yeah, who do you got?
Yeah. I mean, it's a tough one. I mean, the Cowboys been playing really good. The Bills, I barely squeaked by the Chiefs. I know Buffalo. I know it's a tough place to play. But I don't see. I think the Cowboys are going to continue to play good. I think Dak's going to continue to play good. CeeDee Lamb, um, that Jake Ferguson, he's pretty good too.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
so I'm going to go Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm gonna rock with the Cowboys as well. Like I said, I don't like the hype around the Buffalo Bills. Every time they win, it's like you guys won like the whole thing. But yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Buffalo Bills. Um, and I don't have no idea why they have a 2.5 point spread in this one.
It's because
Yeah,
it's in Buffalo, I'm guessing.
yeah, at home, but yeah, the Cowboys. I mean, yeah, they are a bit better at home, and they have 3 losses this year, and they're all on the road. But yeah,
Yeah.
I don't think, yeah, Dak's gonna keep throwing 2 or 3 touchdowns a game for 300 yards. CeeDee Lamb, yeah, it's just been having a year. And then yeah, Jake Ferguson at the tight end spot, and then you have all those like kind of silly slot players like Brandon Cooks. You have that Waddle kid or whatever his name is. You have that Deuce Vaughn, and then you also have Turpin, that kick returner, punt returner.
Uh-huh.
They got so many
Tripping.
weapons on the Cowboys. And then don't forget their defensive side with Deron Bland,
Micah
and Micah
Parsons.
Parsons, who was like had an illness last week and was still getting through double teams and everything like that. So if he's fully healthy, I don't think this Bills team stands a chance against the Cowboys. I think the Bills are a fluke. They shouldn't have beat the Chiefs, or I just don't like the Bills. So yeah, give me the Cowboys in this one.
There you go.
And then you traveling, not traveling, but heading into Sunday night football. You have an AFC matchup. You have the Baltimore Ravens taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Ravens are at 10-3. Jaguars are at 8-5. But yeah, Baltimore has a 3.5 point spread in this one. Jaguars coming off a couple losses there in the past couple weeks, but yeah, who do you got?
Yeah, it's gonna be. I think this is gonna be a better game than everybody thinks. 'Cause Trevor Lawrence is gonna be playing, right? Didn't
Mm-hmm.
he play? Didn't he play last week?
Yeah, after that high ankle sprain, it
Yeah,
looks like
nobody thought he was
he's
supposed.
snapped his leg in half,
Yeah,
and he's
nobody.
out there running around. And yeah,
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Like I said, I'm gonna stick with the Ravens because I haven't. I said they haven't really let me down. Maybe once in the past 5 or 6 weeks. But I think it's gonna be a really good game. But I'm gonna go Ravens in Jacksonville with the dub.
yeah, I'm gonna go Ravens as well. That Christian Kirk, he's hurt, and that was one of their go-to wide receivers. Evan Ingram did ball out last week though; he had a couple touchdowns. But yeah, without Christian Kirk, and then Calvin Ridley is out there, nobody's throwing it to him or anything like that. I don't know if he's getting open. There's actually a lot of miscommunication between Calvin Ridley and Trevor Lawrence last week. One of the throws ended up in an interception. I think Calvin Ridley ran the wrong route or something,
Yeah.
but it ended up in an interception. And then, yeah, Lamar is leading that team, deserved the pay he got, and
Hmm.
is showing the reason why he wanted that money and was going to sit out if he didn't get it. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I like the Ravens in this one on the road. I'm not a huge fan of the Well, I am a huge fan of the Jaguars. I like their team, but the way they've been playing here last couple of weeks, I have to go with the Ravens, especially with the way they've been playing. So,
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
and then yeah, heading into Monday night, we only got one game on Monday night this week.
Thank God. Did you
Um,
like the two games on Monday night? I
I
wasn't a
don't
big.
mind it. I wish they would have started them at different times though, like one at 6:30 and the other one at 7:30, just so we can watch some of it.
Right.
I
Right.
had to keep switching back
Flip
and
back and
forth, and
forth. Yeah.
yeah, and I would miss something, and I was like, "Fuck," and I want to watch that, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, I don't mind the two Monday night games. I wish they would split it up a little bit, but yeah, you have the Philadelphia Eagles sitting at 10-3, traveling to Seattle to take on the 6-7 Seahawks. Philly has a 4 point spread in this one. Who do you got?
Yeah. I got Philly. I think I'm gonna go like. What did I say? Same thing with the Kansas City Chiefs. You lose two losses.
Yeah,
I think you have to bounce back. Um, and I think Seahawks they're decent. They're like middle of the pack. What are they? 7-6.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah, 7-6, 6-7, whatever. But yeah, I think the Eagles are gonna bounce back and get back into that win column. Um, and like I said, same with the Chiefs. Yeah, I think both those teams are gonna get wins and get back in that column.
Yeah, Seattle sitting at 6-7. I mean they have a solid offense. They got Kenneth Walker back this week. Didn't do
Yeah,
much. And then they got Tyler Lockett
DK
and
Metcalf.
DK Metcalf on the outside. If Geno plays well, this could be a close game because the Eagles secondary is absolute trash. Uh, we saw that with the Cowboys, and we saw it with who did they play 2 weeks ago off that loss? The 49ers.
Yeah,
They got their ass kicked by the 49ers 42-19, and then another ass kicking by the Cowboys 33-13. So
yeah,
their secondary is getting exposed. They do have a solid offensive or defensive line with like Fletcher Cox and that and all those big boys in the middle, but yeah, they can't do anything in the secondary. So who knows? Seattle might expose them in the secondary and might be closer than you think. But I do have Philly in this one. I like Jalen Hurts, and yeah, that whole line. They are getting older, but they know what it takes to win and everything like that. So I like the Philadelphia Eagles in this one.
yeah.
You got Philly as well.
Yep.
Okay, perfect.
All right, yeah, go over our records again here.
Yeah.
So coming to this week, I'm 129-79.
Yep.
And what are you?
128-80. So you're one game ahead of me.
Okay, it's a
And
big
so
week.
yeah, this is a big week. We have a few discrepancies in some of the games, so this could either put you ahead by 3 or 4 games, or I could take the lead again. So
Yeah.
it's coming down. We're kind of in the playoff portion too. You're ahead 1 game. So we just got to keep seeing the board right and everything like that. I can't go 5-10 again. That's for damn sure. But
Yeah.
so yeah, that wraps up week 15 of the NFL preview and everything like that. Um, so yeah, it was a solid week last week, week 14. A lot of fun, exciting games. And we're probably going to see more of those exciting games to finish out the season here. Like you said, everyone's playing for a playoff spot, and they're going to be, if they're in contention, they're going to be playing their asses off. So
Yeah.
could see some exciting games this week as well. Probably the best one to look out for is going to be that Cowboys Bills at 3:25 on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then a sneaky one, Steelers Colts is going to be a good one. Broncos Lions should be a decent one.
Yeah.
A lot of the other
Good
ones are
one.
kind of non-important
And
games,
Bears
really.
Browns Bears Browns might turn into a good one. We'll see. But
Yeah,
there's gonna be, I think,
100%.
quite a few good games this week. But
Yeah,
yeah,
a lot of even spreads, but a lot of these games really don't matter to some of these teams. Like,
yeah,
I mean,
there's
yeah,
gonna be a lot of them. Yeah.
but yeah, so we'll see what happens. Yeah, looking forward to week 15. And then yeah, bowl games start this weekend for college football. We only had 1 game last week, or I guess not 1 game, one FBS game or FCS game, whatever it is for the D1 Army versus Navy. But you had the SDSU
Yep.
knocking off who was it? Virginia or something like that, or
No, they played. Goddamn,
was
can't
it
remember.
purple team?
They ended up winning. Yeah,
Furman?
Furman.
Furman?
Yep. I
Yeah,
think.
Furman. Yeah,
No,
so
I
they
gotta
knocked
check
off.
that because I gotta check that because I don't think that's correct.
Anyways, yeah, the top 4 teams heading
And then
into
USD lost to NDS.
NDSU, and then Montana beat Montana. Montana won, so it's gonna be North Dakota
Yeah,
State
SDSU played
versus
Villanova, and
Villanova. Yeah,
I believe Furman played Montana.
Montana. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, we have NDSU versus Montana, and then SDSU versus
Mercer.
Mercer. On yeah, so
Nope.
that should be a fun
Hey,
weekend.
hold up. Nope. They played not Mercer. They played Mercer their last game of the season, or their last game I believe. And then they played Villanova last week. They played Albany.
Albany, New York. Yeah, 100%.
Albany. Yeah, on Friday, December 15th. So
Yeah, and so we have bowl games coming up this week, and all that fun stuff. So that should be exciting. NFL or college football along with
yeah.
NFL, and everything like that. Um, so yeah, a lot of bowl games. Let me see if there's any good ones here as far as some of these bowl games go. Yeah, not a whole lot going on right now. You got James Madison and the Armed Forces Bowl.
Yep. And they
Um,
had a good year. They had a good year.
yeah, yep, yeah. Not a whole lot of bowl games until we start reaching like closer to Christmas time and into the new year, where we're gonna get into like the Rose Bowl and the Cotton
Yep.
Bowl and the
Orange
Peach
Bowl.
Bowl and yep, everything like that. So yeah, we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see what happens with all those bowl games, but not a whole lot going on this week. Some of the lower teams, some of the non-known bowls like the Myrtle Beach Bowl and the Cricket Celebration Bowl and the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl, stuff like that. Avocados from Mexico Cure Bowl. But yeah, so we'll touch on those next week. But it should be a fun, fully packed weekend full of football, college, and NFL, and then basketball as well.
Yeah,
Um,
Lakers won the in-season tournament. LeBron gets that MVP for that tournament. And they look pretty
yeah,
good. Him and AD. LeBron averaged I don't know how many points, but he's averaging like 25, 7, and 7.
yeah, sitting at like what 38, 39 years old,
39, I believe, 38,
something
39. But
like
it's his
that.
22nd season or some shit, like the 21st season. But so it's pretty
Yeah.
impressive to see that happen. Um,
Yeah, and then Bronny made his debut at USC and had a chase down block like his Faja.
and he had a 3
Um,
2.
yeah, I think he had 6 points and everything like that. So good
He's
to
going to be
see
a
him
baller.
back after that cardiac arrest that he had during practice and everything. So yeah, it's fun to see him out there getting some buckets and everything like that. And Lakers just
Mhm.
lost to the Mavericks, by the way.
Yeah.
Mavericks ended up beating the Lakers,
Yeah.
but yeah, basketball's going on, everything like that. And then we have what else we got going on?
There's a big UFC card, kind of big UFC card this weekend. Leon Edwards faces
Yeah,
Kobe Covington.
yeah, that should be a fun UFC fight or UFC event.
Yeah,
Those
and then
two have
Jake
been.
Paul fights this weekend too.
Oh, he does. I didn't know
He
that.
fights I can't remember his name. August something. His something August. He's a 10-1,
Oh,
and
hell
Jake
yeah,
Paul's 7-1.
that
But
should be fun. Is that on Saturday?
yeah, yeah.
Heck
I
yeah.
believe either Friday. I think it's Friday or Saturday.
Heck yeah. Well, that should be fun. Yeah. So a lot of things going on in the sports world this weekend. So yeah, and we covered NFL and in college a little bit. There wasn't a whole lot to talk about with college.
Yeah,
But yeah, you mentioned that the NBA in-season tournament wrapped up. And the Lakers pull up the W in that one. I don't know how much that means. I think they each got $100,000 bonus for winning that tournament or something like that. So that's a nice chunk of change.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah, it's yeah, NBA is about 22, 26 games in, something like that.
Mhm.
Um and so yeah, basketball is underway, and then we have when's the Pro Bowl?
Pro Bowl. I have no clue. I'm not. I don't know. I have no
Yeah,
clue.
yeah, I'm not sure either. Can't
I'll
remember
have to
the
look it
date,
up.
but
But yeah, I don't know.
that's in
I
Los
mean,
Angeles, isn't it? Or is in
yeah. I thought it was. I don't know where it's at. I don't pay attention to the Pro Bowl. They don't even do tackle football anymore, so I don't really pay much attention to that.
Sunday, February 4th,
Okay.
is the Pro Bowl, and
So it's
that
the week. It's the week before the probably the Super Bowl.
yeah, yeah, it's in Las Vegas. Or no, that was the previous years. Um, yeah, but we'll get to see some flag football, but yeah, it's not for a while, so we don't
All
have to
right.
get too into
Well,
that. So
yeah. Let's get into Christmas movies before we go over time here. What's your favorite third? You were on week 3. What's your Christmas movie for this week?
oh, I don't know, man. I haven't been thinking about that. I probably have to go Home Alone. Honestly, I've been watching a lot of Home Alone lately,
They've
and
been
I
on quite
yeah,
a bit.
yeah.
I'm gonna go with Christmas with the Cranks, where they plan to go
Oh,
to their daughter's out of town or doesn't live
yeah,
with them and doesn't plan on coming back, so they plan on going to Hawaii, I think it was, and then her
yeah,
daughter calls and ends up wanting to come back, so they have to change plans and make all their plans up and make dinner and stuff like that. So
yeah. Christmas with the Cranks, and I forgot Christmas Story. Just shoot your eye out, kid. So
yeah, yeah,
that's a classic as well. That one's always on around
mm,
Christmas time and everything like that. But yeah, we'll wrap it up here. You got anything else, buddy?
that is it.
Alrighty, well, appreciate you guys tuning in to episode 44 of TEW Confrontational. As always, we'll see you next week on the pod, episode 45. But until then, peace.
Peace.